What's going on, everybody? Zach RC here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome along to the first episode of my F1 2021 driver career. I've really been enjoying this year's F1 game so far. For those of you who haven't got it yet, who's getting the standard edition, it comes out tomorrow, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it. And of course, spoilers are ahead for what the game looks like unless you haven't seen them. So I'm going to be starting my driver career today, and we're going to be starting from Formula 2, so we're going to run the 2020 Formula 2 season before making the step up to F1. So this first segment of the career should only be like 12 episodes or so. I'm playing on 95 difficulty. It says 95 there, but I did later move it up to 100 because I did qualifying and I felt like it wasn't difficult enough. I may turn it down depending on what happens today, who knows. So I'm just changing the settings. There's a lot of different career settings you can change this year. It makes it a lot more customizable, and it's a lot better than last year's game in that regard. I'm turning on fault frequency just because it makes it a bit more realistic. And those are the settings we'll be using. So first up, I'm just going to create my driver. I'm going to skip through this bit, keep it nice and brief because you don't need to really see the whole process. It takes a few minutes. So I've got my avatar done here, and I'm making my helmet. I always enjoy going with like a blue and yellow kind of style. So I always try and keep consistent with my helmets because they play an important part of the career to me. I just really enjoy helmet design in that regard. So I'm using this design called Stripe, which I think is quite good, and it goes with the kind of design I want to use. So yeah, that's quite pleasing. Like I say, blue and yellow. Make the blue a bit dark here. I'm trying to keep it all nice and the same, nice and similar. So there's the helmet done, and finally we're going to select our team and our driver academy. I'm going with ART, and I want to be part of the Renault driver academy, so I'll be driving for Alpine most likely. So yeah, that's pretty much all this needs to go on. So I'm going to skip qualifying because just to keep these episodes nice and short, and once we get to F1, that's when I'll start doing qualifying. But since there's already 2 races in Formula 2, we're going to jump right into those. So let's get started with our Formula 2 debut in the feature race.
Hello and welcome from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir. Down on the grid, the engineers are making their last checks, and today's race will be underway shortly. Plenty of opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit for these young F2 drivers to show what they can do. The best passing opportunity right up there at turn 1, and we should see plenty of action there. But there's another not long after at turn 4. There are 9 right-handers, 6 left-handers, and the possibility that we could see some flat spots at the tightest of those left-handers. That's turn 10. Davide, you're a 3-time winner around here in 1 week, I believe, back in 2012. How on earth do you make the tyres last around this racetrack? They degrade so quickly.
To be honest, the key to the race is having a good start so you can get your car into a good position. Then save the tires as much as you can and push just at the end.
We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. A fantastic effort from Yuki Tsunoda yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Mick Schumacher in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Cohen, Piquet, Daniel Ticktum, and Sato, Matsushita, Alesi, Samaya, Guan Yu Zhou, Daruvala, Dragovic, Robert Schwartzman, and Aitken, Markelov, Ilott, Armstrong, and Luca Giotto, Nissani, Mazepin, Galeo, and Louis Delatraz starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright then, so here we are, guys, behind the wheel of the ART Grand Prix machine. So I'm really looking forward to getting this race underway. Of course, the Formula 2 cars are a bit different to Formula 1 cars in the idea of what they look like, how they drive, so I'll be experiencing those firsthand. So I'm going to get going here for the start of the feature race here in Bahrain. 5 red lights. Lights out and we go underway. Tsunoda and Schumacher in front of me. It's a terrible start. Got really bogged down there, so that's a really poor getaway. We're going to lose a lot of spots going down towards the first corner. We're going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. We've got back past Ticktum and Sato, so we're going to try and go around the outside of Piquet and Schumacher. Not quite getting in there, so we're going to have to hold on to P4 for the time being. Schumacher brakes big time. I'll go into the back of the car. Fortunately, no damage is done, so we're all good in that regard. Sato's right behind us, could go for a move, going into the right-hander, but I don't think he's close enough. He's very close, but still not deciding to make that move. He thinks better of it, so we stay in P4 for the time being, so it's not too bad a start. We lost a place, so obviously negative to start with, but hopefully we can bounce back. Just chasing down Schumacher within this opening lap. Tsunoda's completely pulled away at the front. PK's running in second. Like I said, Schumacher in third and us in fourth. Become quite close to the back of the premium machine in front of us. Not close enough to be able to make that move. Of course, going down in towards turns 9 and 10, so we're going to have to be very careful coming in here. And we broke way too late, and there's contact, and there we go, hitting the back of Schumacher's car. We go wide before re-entering the track, so we've lost multiple positions there. We're back down in P6. Both Tictum and Sato have found their way past us, so that's very poor. Here comes Matsushita, trying to go down the inside on the left-hand side. He's not going to get in there, but no, he does get in there. We're going to be able to switch back and go past Matsushita and then past Schumacher as well, so he's lost out big time there. So we're back up into 5th place. We've got to try and find a way around Tictum and Sato as quickly as we can. We run wide there, so that allows Schumacher past. We're going to switch back once again. There's a bit of contact there, so we have to be very careful for that throughout the day, because of course I've got damage turned on, so we don't want to be crashing the car early on in our first Formula 2 race. So we've taken 5th place and we move on to the end of lap 1 here. We're going to try and make a move on Tictum. We're pulling out to the right hand side, getting that toe as much as we can. Could try and pass Sato going into turn 1. We get past Tictum. We think better of it. Sato locks up. There's a bit of contact. We touch wheels there. There's more contact. They're being very clean. We're trying to be clean, but being very aggressive in the process. We found our way past both Sato and Tictum, and that puts us up into 3rd place. But here comes Sato. He's not done yet. He's looking for a move on the right hand side, going down in towards turn number 3. He's still on the inside there. We have to try and cut him off. We're going back up around the corner, and there we go. There's contact, and there we go. We've dragged both both Sato and ourselves off the track. And that was poor contact. That was just not really good racing for myself. Then we've almost taken out Schwartzman in the process as well. So that's very unfortunate. That's put us all the way back down to P10, and just like that, we've got work to do. Thank God this is very early on in the race. But right now, yeah, like I say, we have serious work to do. Ilot's trying to go make a move on the inside. Of course, Ilot, very good Formula 2 driver, nearly won the championship in 2020. But we've managed to get the better of him for the time being. Moving on now to the end of lap 2, we're still in P10. We could try and make a move down the inside of Giuliano Alesi in front of us in the ART machine. We'll have to go for a mighty dive bomb if we want to make that move stick. And there we go, up the inside, late on the brakes into turn 1, and we've got past Alesi somehow. And now our next target is the Uni Virtuosi driver of Guan Yu Zhou. Now he's also a Renault Academy driver, so we'll be fighting him for that seat in Formula 1 next season. So here comes Alesi again, looking on the inside. We're going to give him the room this time. We don't want to see what happened to us with Sato last time, so we give him the space. Nice, fair, clean racing, and we hold on to 9th place for the time being. Moving on now towards the end of lap 4. We're nearly halfway through this race, and we're still very close to Guan Yu Zhou. Tsunoda and PK pulled away. Tsunoda set the fastest lap of the race. Of course, there's no chance of us winning the race at this point unless something mighty was to happen to those two in front. We've got the DRS on Guan Yu Zhou, but it's not really helping us too much. We're kind of falling away. We're trying to get close, but it's really not helping us. We're going to go for another mighty dive bomb, going down in towards that first corner into turn 1. We pull to the inside once again late on the brakes, and there's a bit of contact, but nothing too major, and we're up into P8. Now this is absolutely crucial to us, because the way Formula 2 works is there's a feature race and a sprint race. If you finish in 8th, the top 8 grid positions are reversed for the sprint race after the results in the feature race. So if you finish 8th in the feature race, you get to start on pole for the sprint race, and that could be absolutely crucial to us. We've got to hold off Zhou for the second half of the race in order to take that pole position for the sprint race, otherwise we'll be starting in 9th. Moving on now to the start of lap 6. Zhou looking to try and go on the attack. The tyres need to go the distance, but I think they'll be able to go. It's only 8 laps, it's not even that hard. So going down towards turn 1, Zhou goes to the inside. We're not really going to give him too much room, but we've still held on to it. That was robust, but still very fair racing. So moving on now onto the next DRS straight. We've got no DRS, but Guan Yu Hao's behind us, so we have to be very careful. He pulls out to the right hand side trying to make the move, but he backs out of it. No, he's coming back at it. Here he comes up the inside, but now he has no choice but to back out. We've managed to get the better of him in that last corner. So going through the rest of the first sector now, we're still in control of 8th place as we need to be, but of course Samaya is too far in the distance for us to try and chase down. We've gone a bit wide there, and that could allow the Virtuosi driver behind us in. We've had poor exit, we've gone wide off our line, and there he goes on the outside of us up into P8 goes Guan Yu Zhou, and we're down to 9th. We have to be very careful not to make contact here. We touch wheels, and it's a poor exit. We're really on the curbs there. We've really lost the back end of the car, and that allows Zhou to pull away. So we've got 2 laps to try and work our way back forward to him. This one could be very, very tight indeed. Going on to the last couple of laps. 2 laps to go now. We're going to try and make a move to the inside going into turn 1. We're a lot closer than we were the last time we made a move on him in turn 1. So we're going to go into the first corner. Very nice, smooth, over the curb a bit. Still giving him enough room to go through the corner. We're going to try and squeeze him off there, but he goes for a gap that's clearly closing at the time being, but nothing wrong with that. But he's now down into P9, and we're in 8th, so that's very good for us. Moving on now later into the lap, this turn 10 is really bad for me. I've gone wide, and that could be crucial because that's allowed him to get on the inside, and he's got DRS as well, so that's only going to help his cause. We've got no DRS, so Maya's too far in the distance. You can only really rely on the slipstream, and that's him up into 8th once again, so this is becoming more of a race-long battle. We go back to the inside, going into the left-hander, and we've got a bit of contact there, but we're through with the position. Moving on now to the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is going to be a very close one. Last lap of the feature race. It's Joe looking to the outside. Giuliano Lacey's going to be coming back out, so we've got to be careful for him. He's trying to follow Joe into turn 1. Once again, we find ourselves on the inside, and we take the position back. And he's got a really poor exit there. We've run over the curbs a bit more there, and that's allowed him to catch back up because he's run a better line than we have, a smoother line, and that's allowed him to stay in contention for 8th place. So going into the last couple of corners now, we've run wide, and that could be deathly for us. That could be the kiss of death, and that's allowed him back up into P8. We're going to have to try and run him down and make a late move on the final lap with only just 2 corners left to go. And coming down this long straight is one of our better opportunities. Fortunately, there's quite a few long straights on the Bahrain circuit. We're going to come very, very close to try and make a move, but he's still around 0.4 seconds in front of us, and that is all he needs at this point. We're unable to get close and make a move in the final corner, and the poor exit only allows him to pull away and hold on to P8, so it's P9 for us, and that's very frustrating, because it means that we're starting 9th in the sprint race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Brilliant stuff from Carlin today. What a superb victory. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Although the Formula 2 car are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raced some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance. After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's table. It's a good result for Yuki Tsunoda, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
I think it's got to be Sean Galeol. He's not always spectacular, but he quietly gets the job done, and that's the case today.
And now a look at the team standings. Carlin moved to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care. We're returning after yesterday's feature race for the final event of the weekend, the sprint. Down on the grid below us, the drivers are spending their last few minutes getting ready. Very soon, they're going to kick this race off in dramatic fashion. Joining me for the race today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, it's great to have you with us for today's race. Any tips for our drivers out on the track today?
It's a real pleasure to be here, Alex. We are in for a spectacular day in Formula 2. My advice is to stay calm, look after the car, look after the tires, but don't be afraid to push when you see an opportunity. Using the DRS on some of those long straights will be crucial for the driver looking to make a challenge.
So here we are now on the grid for the sprint race. We're starting 9th. After that race-long battle with Guan Yu Zhou, he's on pole. Hopefully we'll be able to make a better start than we did last time round. So here comes the 5 red lights for the sprint race here in Bahrain. Starting from 9th on the grid, lights out, and we go underway, and it's an even worse start than last time. We got really bogged down, and we're in the mid-pack this time, so that's going to allow a lot more cars to make moves on us. We're going to try and go for one almighty send, try and make as many places as we can into turn 1. We go 4 wide in the first corner, going for a gap that's still there, so we're allowed to go for it. We go 4 wide, Schumacher gets to the edge, he passes Matsushita in front of us in the process, and we're up into P7, so that's 2 places gained right there off the start. But here comes Tsunoda on the outside. Of course, he won the feature race, so he's now down in 8th to start the race. We hold him off. He has to go the long way round and we managed to hold on to P7 for the time being. So not too bad a start here. We're watching Matsushita and Schumacher battle in front of us. We're going to go to the inside. There's a bit of contact there. Very aggressive racing, and not sure that would normally be allowed in real world Formula 2, but we've got away with it. No warning from race control, so we're still there. We've gone way wide there in turn 10, and that is crucial, and that's caused us to drop down a couple more places, and we're now down behind Tsunoda. So we've lost 3 places just like that through the space of one tiny mistake. So we're going to try to go back down the inside of Tsunoda, going into the left-hander, and we've taken that place back, so it's not all lost. So up into P7 like we were on the start. So moving on to the end of lap 2 now, still in 7th place, still closing down on Matsushita. Lowest, we're going to need another one of our mega dive bombs into the first corner in order to stand a chance. Here we come now, down to the first corner, not quite close enough this time. We make a bit of contact there because we're trying to find a way inside, but we've got the DRS this time, but so does Matsushita, so it's going to be crucial for us to use that to our advantage. And here we come down the straight. Tsunoda, we have to be careful for him as well because he's still coming behind us. We go to the inside of Matsushita, and we've gone for the holders, clearly closing, and that was a poor choice from us. We've lost time to Schumacher, but we've gained 1 position, so definitely an unconventional approach to passing, but it's made us work, and now we're up into 6th place, but Matsushita's coming back at us. We've got a poor exit there. There goes the MP Motorsport machine to the inside, going down in towards the last couple of corners now. Into the right hander we come. We're going to give him the space, and we've got the better exit. We've gone a bit wide though, so he's going to be side by side with us down the straight. We go wheel to wheel. It's going to be very close, and Tsunoda's just behind us with the DRS. He could make a move. He's got double slipstream if he wants it. He's gone all the way down the inside. We're going to go 3 wide and towards the first corner. We fall back. We're going to pull off what I think is a really nice switch back there. Going down in towards the first corner. We take it 3 abreast into turn 1. There's a bit of contact. We force them both out. And there goes Lacey also trying to make a move behind us. I'm just taking a look at the championship standings there. As of now, we'll be 9th based on all the positions now. So moving on to the end of lap 4, we've got just 2 more laps to go in the sprint race. It's going to be crucial to us that we stay in P6 and try and make up as many points in the championship as we can for that poor result last time out. Matsushita going around the outside. That's not at all what I expected going into the first corner. He had the room on the inside, didn't go for it. We've run over the curb, we've forced him out. So that moves Tsunoda up into P7, and that keeps us in P6 just for the time being, but Tsunoda's got the DRS. We had the DRS of being behind Matsushita going into the first corner because we had it on the last straight. Tsunoda not quite close enough, so we're going to be able to hold on to 6th place for the time being. We've got 1 more lap to go now, going on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Tsunoda looks to the inside, but here comes Callum Ilott as well. I'm not sure if he's going to go for it. He's gone the inside. We can't go switch back, so we're going to have to go around the outside. We're going the long way around against Tsunoda, going through the first couple of corners here. He's got the edge in the Carlin machine, but we've got the DRS this time, and here's our chance to pull off a nice, clean overtake. We're going to pull out to the left-hand side. We're going to go the long way round through turn 3. So here we come now, and we're still side by side with Tsunoda. He gets the edge just like that and holds on to 6th place, but there's still quite a lot of racing to go on this final lap, so it could still be very close. We continue to trail him, following him through. We're going to pull out to the right hand side, go for a very late dive bomb, which was nice and clean. It's allowed us through up into P6, and I believe that is it. We've got the race closed out, and we've taken 6th place. So Guan Yu Zhou wins the race, crucial for him to finish on pole, start on pole. We finish in P6, not at all a bad outing.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
That's it for another race and a fantastic win for Uni Virtuosi. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of the race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
For me, the RT driver was the best in the field today. They did a great job at getting the most out of tires without losing pace. That's a good skill to have.
On to the teams then. Carlin moved to the top of the table. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
So there you have it then, P9 and P6 in our first ever Formula 2 weekend. And that puts us 9th in the championship on 6 points. Not the best of starts, but we'll definitely bounce back. I've got to get acquainted to racing at this difficulty. It's Baku next time out. I'm really looking forward to that race. Of course, the team's championship isn't looking too good because we score points, but we'll bounce back. I can tell you we'll bounce back. So with that, guys, that's the end of the first episode of F1 2021 Driver Career. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, share it and subscribe. And with that, I shall see you guys at the next race. See you guys later.